Hello everyone, this is Kelly Beard of KarmicTools.com, and this is your weekly forecast for November 19th through the 25th of 2023. So our quote for the week says, "It is only when we face our fears that the false beliefs fall away and the eternal truths can shine out." Ooh, deep breath. This week, we are letting those false beliefs fall away. We are definitely facing our fears because we've got some Saturn and Pluto. I mean, there's different angles of fears coming up. But the eternal truths always save us. That's the beauty of the Scorpio Sag zone. We go into Scorpio raw truth, and then we rise into Sagittarius higher truth. And this week kicks off with a very special alignment and energy that we haven't had access to in a very long time. Pallas is entering Scorpio. Now, technically, it's going to be there until February 6th when it enters Sag, but she's actually entering a zone where she will linger for a full year, November to November. November 19th, 2023 to November 30th of 2024, she's going to live in our Scorpio Sag departments. And she hasn't done that since 2001. So that's a very big deal, very big reset for your healing capacity, unique genius. So first she will move through Scorpio and then Sag and then retrograde, extending her stay in this zone of your chart. When Pallas is in Scorpio, it is very special because it will activate your prismatic perspective. This is a Caroline Casey-ism. You know I'm always talking about the Kelly-isms. That one's from her. And this one, we're trying to get a perspective on our true individual power and your creative potential. Now that we've cleared some karmic and emotional debris over the last year or so, how we create a life, or world for that matter, that channels power responsibly and co-creates with the garden of life that we are part of. According to Asteroid Goddesses by Demetra George and Douglas Block, Pallas describes how we face the issues of learning, creativity, the arts, politics, healing, alienation from relationships, competition, and the fear of success. Not the fear of failure, the fear of success. Marinate that one. As she moves through Scorpio, we will create from and tend to the soul level, meaning we will add soul to all that we create, heal, or learn. It's a powerful reset that will give you access to your own unique wisdom and power. Also keep in mind, Scorpio brings the conception of a creative baby or a healing process. Sag will expand the creation or process in a spiritual or inspirational way. And then Capricorn will ask you to make it real, give it form and structure, or a foundation to exist upon. And then you can go forward in Aquarius to serve humanity in some way, if you choose. So Pallas and Scorpio can help the following in various ways. You can create a master plan and an effective strategy for navigating now, but you want to think bigger. 2001 was 23 years ago. Your perception is keen and deeper, seeing through the surface to the truth of anything or anyone. So this is that kind of X-ray vision, psychic capacity being activated that we all have somewhere. We all have Scorpio somewhere in our charts. If you have planets there, then lessons come with it. And the lesson has to do with power and karma and creativity. So this is part of our lesson and healing process that's being activated by Pallas lingering there and going back and forth there. This is going to activate a deeper process than the usual once every 4 to 5 years when she stops by and wakes it up. You can do deep and permanent healing by seeking and finding the root of the issue. So we got a lot of healing to do, and I always say it starts at the root and ends at the root. You will have things from your unconscious brought into your conscious mind to be expressed at a higher level, worked with, and or released altogether. You can heal any of the following issues on a deep cellular level: sex, death, anger, power, money, and resources. You can heal and express the essence of things using symbolic art such as mandalas, sacred geometry, etc., which gets even deeper when she moves through Sag. So I'm putting this in here because it's a little heads up. Even though she's not going to get there until February, you need to know where she's lingering and what she's doing so you can sort of prepare on this front end. As Pallas moves through Sag, she activates your inner wise elder, the part of you that can conceive an expanded vision, heal the imagination, and change the world with your perceptions. This energy awakens your faith and belief systems and how deep the connection is between your physical and mental health and well-being and what you believe to be true or possible. For your inner artist, this energy can also inspire new creative expression that incorporates symbolism, philosophy, culture, and diverse beliefs. This energy will push you to be painfully honest with yourself and others, demanding integrity in all exchanges. This is the wisdom and power of bringing diverse ideas together to create an alchemical mix that is unique to that time and space. Deep breath. Now, it's just occurring to me here as well, based on some social, collective, global things going on. This can get a lot deeper, okay? Micro to macro, though, most of my writings have to do with you, the individual, getting it together, and then the globe will be okay. So I want you to take note that Pallas is going to retrograde in Sag, so there's some kind of upgrade happening there, and go direct in Scorpio. So we're going direct to really integrate that power and psychic ability and that inner knowing and inner creative that is unique and needed in the world. But she's going to do this extending the entire process. This means that you will be doing a deep healing review in your Scorpio Sag departments, and the idea is to glean as much wisdom and clarity as possible so that when it goes forward and moves into Capricorn, you will have a whole new vision and some major healing already integrated. So manifesting the next level of your own unique genius and setting yourself up to make a contribution to society will flow organically. Okay, so this is some internal work we have to do in order to be of service to the world. And this is a big justice placement, right? This is a big karmic placement. We're calling in new levels of wisdom so that humanity can function better. Now, you know me and my cycles. I had to go look it up. The last few times that Pallas moved through the Scorpio Sag department was 2019, and before that, 2014-15, and before that, 2010, and before that, 2005. Now, before that, that 2001 zone is when it retrograded through the Scorpio Sag zone, okay? It gets there every 4 to 5 years on GP, but when it retrogrades and lingers and extends that 2 months to a year process, that's when we pay attention, and that's what we're in right now. So the next time it'll actually just move through Scorpio Sag, not retrograde, will be 2028 to 2029, 4 to 5 years from now. So it's good work that will affect multiple areas in your chart. If you just focus in this one area, it'll just happen automatically. I, of course, put the dates to remember. So Pallas is entering Scorpio November 19th, a little after the Scorpio gate of power. It's going to enter Sag February 6th, 2024, very close to the Aquarius gate of power. Then it's going to retrograde at 8 Sag, March 29th of the new year, 2024. That's very close to spring equinox. As it's still retrograde, it'll re-enter Scorpio May 16th. That's just after the Taurus gate of power. It'll go direct at 19 Scorpio, July 9th. That might be the only one that's not really close to a holiday, right in the middle there. And now it's direct in Scorpio, moving on. It'll re-enter Sag September 8th. And finally, for real, move on to Capricorn November 30th of 2024. So this is a full year, November to November, lingering in that Scorpio Sag zone, awakening new perceptions, awakening new healing processes, awakening new creativity and wisdom that can only come through you. So co-create when and where you can. And that's Sunday. Monday, the 20th, Sun is going to sextile Pluto. Tuesday, the 21st, Mars sextiles Pluto. So remember, last week they got together. So they're still moving together this week. And what's interesting is here they are both at the end of Scorpio in an opportunity with Pluto. But as they both enter Sag, they square off with Saturn. So transformation and boundaries and all kinds of things are up right now. And Sun and Mars are both very personal for you, the individual, your identity, your purpose, your desires, who you are and what you want is what's going on this week, which of course is always what sort of informs the choice of quote I use at the top. So first things first. First, the sun will do it. Sun will sextile Pluto, and this is a healthy, positive, transformative energy. You will have access to energy that will help you change your current circumstance for the better and or clear up an issue that has been challenging you for a while now. It's great for purifying, cleaning, and clearing your personal space, as well as organizing your life in general. You may have to examine the big picture to see where an adjustment for the good of all involved is necessary. If you're not feeling up to working on outer issues, this also gives you the opportunity to do some introspective thinking and deep self-reflection. Superficial once-overs will not do. You must address the root cause for where you find yourself at this time in your life and decide if it is working for you or against you. Deep breath. Pluto don't play, y'all. You can't lie in the Pluto zone, not to yourself or anyone else. So the very next day, Mars is going to hit it. And Mars will sextile Pluto, and this is what I call lower will meeting higher will within you. Mars is your inner masculine and therefore helps you to take action and make choices according to who you are and what you want. Pluto will ensure that you come from the purest place within, your soul level, which often entails a cleansing of the non-essential and the overgrowth of the last cycle first. Okay, so that's another thing when dealing with Pluto. Even in an opportunity like a sextile, you still have to make a sacrifice, you still have to do a clearing, and it is always a death and rebirth kind of situation. Luckily, this is not a quote-unquote hard or bad activation, but an opportunity to connect with what you really want at the deepest soul level, which will naturally lead to whatever is blocking that and its ultimate release. Keep in mind that those who are more out of touch with who they are and what they want tend to explode or implode when Mars and Pluto get together, even in a positive aspect like this one. This is a potent and thankfully positive mix of energy and power coming together. Direct it wisely on your own behalf. This activation is a great opportunity for substantial forward movement. However, nothing worthwhile comes without conscious effort and sacrifice. With Pluto involved, there is always a sacrifice. In this case, the sacrifice will likely be where your vision of the final outcome is concerned. Your desires can and will be fulfilled, but they just might not look like you thought they would. Remember, when it comes to quote-unquote wanting anything, stay in touch with the feeling that your desire brings, rather than the physical appearance or manifestation. You always want to set your intentions, do the work, then allow spirit to breathe life into the vision. Deep breath. So when I say tune into the feeling, my example historically has been the round house. A lot of you know I've always dreamed about a Deltec home. They make them in Asheville and they ship them all over the world, and you can build them on a mountain or on the beach, and they're really good for the environment, and storms go around them and things like that. And I love it. But here's the thing. If a round house is just going to give me problems and the pipes or the electricity or something doesn't work or it's not set up right, and it's headache after headache after headache just to have a round house, that's not what I'm asking for. I'm asking for that feeling that I think my sacred space will give me. And if it happens to be round, great. I love it. But I didn't really care about the shape when I started calling in that vision. What I care about is the feeling of openness, having skylights, having a wraparound porch, having that just openness. I feel like I've been in apartments my whole life, for the first time in my 50s in a house. And so it's a lot about what the feeling is I'm calling in. I don't care what shape it is. So that's what I mean when I say don't worry about what it looks like or what it manifests as. Think more of it as how you want to feel when you accomplish that goal or whatever it may be. And with Mars, it's always about our goals and what we're trying to do. Thursday the 23rd, now they've both moved into Sag. And so Sun hits it first again. It moves a little faster and it's squaring off with Saturn first. So Sun square Saturn says with this energy, it's best to understand that you will have two distinct poles within. One is obligation to others versus the responsibility to self. It's not nearly as bad as it feels. However, it does bring up something we all work really hard to balance to some degree or another, and that is self versus others. How much do you owe yourself and how much are you obligated to others? Balance and reciprocity come to mind as guides. One of the challenges of this influence is making negative assumptions that there is no support for you when in truth you haven't asked for any, and help must be invited. Saturn brings up our relationship to time, and some people may feel restricted, as if life, other, outer, is all too demanding and there's never enough time just for the individual. This activation is a push to grow. It's time to hold your own structure in some way and reclaim your inner authority, also Saturn's domain, that authority to direct your own life. Others may find their lives falling apart because they've avoided responsibility for so long, and now there's no more wiggle room. Rather than having a meltdown, take a nap and resolve to wake up with a plan, a strategy for taking the next step, even if that means simply asking for help or guidance from someone older and wiser. Also something that usually gets recommended when Saturn's involved. It's time to deepen your dedication and commit to yourself in a whole new way. Recognize any current limitations and work with the resources at hand for now. The sun usually illuminates the core essential nature or self, so see where you may be stuck and need to break out of a rut of some sort, and trust that taking charge and making a decision and choosing a direction is inviting help from the universe to support your new direction. Ashe. Deep breath, lots of work this week on the self. Then Friday the 24th, Mars enters Sag. Saturday the 25th, Sirius enters Sag. So now look who else is in the neighborhood. How we nurture and like to be nurtured. On top of making some of these choices and decisions, we want to be making the ones that are best for us. You know, the most nutritious, most nourishing, most protection, most comforting, and just comforting and protective, basically. But when it's in Sag, it's rooted in your beliefs and what you believe to be true or possible for yourself or the world. So we got to think about that. So Mars enters Sag November 24th until January 4th of 2024. Prepare for a serious dose of righteousness. This energy can bring chaos or brilliance, your choice. It tends to make you blunt and painfully honest at times, and in the body, it's fire to be channeled through any kind of physical activity, walk, dance, or athletics. Learning something new is easier than usual. Maybe it's the perfect time to take some kind of dance class. Salsa, anyone? Try not to take anything too personal at this time and avoid petty arguments or fights if at all possible. Channel all that righteous anger, if you have any. When you channel your rage, which paralyzes, into outrage, which mobilizes, you can find a solution to any challenge. Don't forget to apply some of that brutal honesty when looking in the mirror, and remember to stand up for what you believe in, which is often what Mars will do in Sag. So again, who you are and what you want, rooted in what you believe to be true or possible. Once every 2 years, Mars gets around to Sag and upgrades our zone there in beautiful ways. And again, it's how it's hanging with the sun and now Sirius too. So the very next day, on Saturday the 25th, Sirius is going to enter Sag until February 7th of 2024. So Sirius, the Great Mother, also known as Demeter, rules what you nurture, contain, nourish, and protect, as in you, your children, or creative projects. She is going to enter Sag, giving you unprecedented support for developing your own unique truth, exploring, experimenting, and most of all, learning about this new level of consciousness and new world that you're moving through. As you connect to that, of course, what comes next is Capricorn, saying now achieve something. As you nurture and develop your truth and story, you will then turn, completely supported, by the way, toward making it tangible. It will become the very structure and foundation supporting you as you expand into other realms. So yes, nourishing your consciousness, nourishing your faith and beliefs, increasing the diversity of quality nutrient. And most of all, the usual Kelly caveat is to warn you about input-output. Really want to manage that because, mental and emotional overwhelm is real and it taxes the body. So it's all connected. Same day, Saturday the 25th, Mars squares off with Saturn. So this closes out the week, this little tag team of Sun and Mars. This is the energy of action being restricted and the anger or frustration that follows. You can either be angry and feel restricted, limited, and unable to move, or you can see this energy as an opportunity to define the right actions to take and strategically plan to take them when the universe is more supportive. This energy requires us to slow down and double check the plan. If you proceed consciously, your plan has a better chance of success than if you were reckless and impatient, which is what Mars can trigger us to do. Especially in Sag, when you're all righteous and you think you got the vision, but you're really so focused on the big vision that you miss something little right under your nose. So let's pay attention to the details here. And Sag and Pisces is spiritual and emotional processing. So this is what we have to kind of work out. And this is where the opportunity to grow is happening. You may experience a blockage of some sort, internal or external. You may feel this tremendous urge to change or move forward in your life, but seem to find blockages and limitations with every effort. That is likely your perception. Do you feel inadequate to the task at hand? What are you afraid of? Fear is false evidence appearing real, so release the fear and choose to be responsible for creating your own life. If you don't, your outer circumstances only become a reflection of your inner beliefs. You will attract criticism and repel support. We never want to do that. Take your grand vision and figure out 3 small steps you can take on this restricted level that is still taking you in the direction of your goal. Don't try to initiate at this time. This is a time for cultivating, planning, working behind the scenes, doing the detail and foundational work, which is also known as the grunt work, that is actually necessary to support that grand vision when the time comes to fully express it. So you want to do this behind the scenes work right now. We want to do this internal processing right now. We want to go inward in the winter season in this hemisphere and process the year of 23 so that we can make good decisions about 2024. And so that's coming soon too. I'm starting to put my notes together for the 2024 overview of energetic support and special alignments. So that'll be coming out soon enough. And last week, I reminded you all that the fire ceremony was very powerful, Scorpio based. And we have the Venus circle that was in Libra, actually at the sacral chakra. So we're back to water and emotions and sexuality and things like that. And the Soul Sister snake medicine was just all seemed to be intertwined and related. So for those of you who are there, I've put you all in the classroom and uploaded the raw replays of those extra classes. And if you want the tools and things, by all means, drop in or subscribe. If you're looking for your year-end or year-ahead reading, we can check in with your cycles and see where you're at. I'm doing a lot of those these days. Reach out directly if you need to. This week, I don't have any technical events. Saturday the 25th, we're doing a huge Oh Yeah praise singing and ancestor feast. So that's going to be very special. But technically, I guess my next event will be the Venus Circle when it is Scorpio at the solar plexus on Thursday, November 30th. So there's a little heads up that that's coming. All right, y'all. Have a fantastic week. Reach out if you need to. This is Kelly Beard of Karmic Tools signing off.